Good morning all and welcome to the Kontakt Script Programmer. Today we're going to look at 3.11, which is, and we're probably going to wrap the rest of these up in one because we have covered some of the persistent callbacks a little bit earlier on. So make instrument persistent is very similar to make persistent, which we covered way earlier in, let's have a quick look, where was it? 2.7. Yeah, so we've already covered snapshot types and persistence changed, so we probably don't need to look at them too much. There are slight differences. So for instance, make instrument persistent is similar to make persistent. However, the value of a variable is only saved with the instrument, not with the snapshots. It can be used to prevent UI elements from being changed. So we're going to make the UI elements instrument persistent, whereas the make persistent might be different variables. So on initialization, we set the snapshot type as 1, and 1 being the initialization callback doesn't happen whenever we load a snapshot. We declare a UI knob called knob that has two positions, 0, 1, and 2. We set the text to say knob1 and we say persistent. We make persistent knob1. We declare a second knob called knob2. We set text knob2, instrument persistent, make instrument persistent. We declare a UI knob, knob3, not persistent. I'm not really going to build this just because you should already see what's going to happen here. The first knob won't be changed at all. The second knob won't be changed when we change snapshots, and the third knob will be changed no matter what we do. Okay. From there, they make persistent patch, which again we have already used this kind of thing before. They'll just retain their value. It's saved with the patch and the script. So whenever the script is saved, or the patch, or the multi, or the host chunk, the state of the variables is read at the end of the initialization callback, and then we would use read persistent variable to read the stored value from last time. We can use the on persistence callback for retrieving the values when replacing scripts by copy and replacing. The values of persistent variables are also retained. So again, it's all about those persistent variables, and we will talk about this flushing variables by resetting the script of an empty script in the respective slot a little bit later when we start getting into more complicated things. So again, this is just initializing a patch, declaring a knob called preset with 1, 10, 1, make persistent preset. Okay, so it's not going to change when we close and reopen the patch. Read persistent value. I'm just going to power through these because I want to get onto UI because I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are excited too. This should be a lot of fun. So the read persistent variable is being used. Anything that was used via the make persistent command is called in the initialization callback, or the end of the initialization callback, I believe. The state of the variable is saved not only with the patch, but also saved as a contacts preset, so a .nkp file. Everything's retained. Okay, this version, we initialize, we declare a label, we declare a button, we set the text for the button, we declare a variable, we make the variable persistent, we read the persistent variable, and we set text for the label as the persistent variable. Okay, on the UI control of button, we set A to 10,000, we set the text for the label to A. So this one we will build. After applying the script, we can save and close, and some of this stuff should become pretty clear to us. So let's jump in to Kontakt, have a little look-see. On init, declare a UI label called label. Alright, declare a UI button called button. Set the text for the button. And there we go. equals 10,000. So basically this patch is calling a number of variable changes, and it's just going to show you the process in terms of what overrides what. So you can see when you would use some of these persistent variables. I mean, they're almost self-explanatory, aren't they? Persistent variables are persistent. They don't go away like anything else. I mean, a lot of other things go away, but that's okay. UI control of a button. We set whenever we hit this button, we set it to 10,000, and we set the text, label, A, and on. Okay, so after we put this, we have 0 in this label, okay, because we haven't hit the button yet. Whenever we hit this button, it should hit, this should change to, you guessed it, 10,000. So there we go, 10,000. When we let go, still 10,000, because we haven't set it so that when it's set to 0, we take it off, but that's okay. So now let's save and close this instrument. So 3.11. Okay, and let's close this guy up. Now, if we didn't have persistent variables, that button should be off and the value should be 0 in that label. Okay, so let's load up 3.11 and check it out. So there we go. Okay, because we didn't read the persistent variable, we made persistent variables, but we didn't read the persistent variable. And because we didn't read the persistent variable, this is still 0, and that's still off. So let's remove these curly braces and hit apply. Okay. Now let's resave this patch. 12. There we go. And load that sucker up again. And there we go. So our button state, because our button is not made persistent in terms of setting it to 1 or 0, that still popped up, but we've got our initial value in there. So this is kind of like what a lot of, I was playing with a Roland System 8 the other day, actually, and when you change presets, and it's very similar on anything that uses a lot of memory, but whenever you change presets, it won't change the sound. So say you have like a cutoff knob on, you might change presets and it'll set them all to the correct value, and then it's only when you just wiggle the cutoff knob the tiniest bit that it overwrites the value and will then maybe totally change the sound, whereas it shouldn't quite do that behavior, but unless you've got motorized knobs or something to move everything to the position. So the make persistent and in particular the read persistent variable is just so that we have a script that goes along with the file. So let's have a look over here, chapter 3, over here. Right, so 3 KB, let's see if maybe it's it's all pretty much 3 KB. But in this, we're reading a persistent variable. Okay, so as if we saved this patch, we would get a .nkp file, but we're reading that persistent variable, so it automatically knows, well, last time you changed me to 10,000, and that's supposed to be a persistent variable, and I'm reading that persistent variable, and I'm seeing 10,000. Okay, so now whether we hit this or not, it doesn't make a difference because it's already been set to 10,000. Okay, so amazingly, that's chapter 3. We got through it in the end. We are up to chapter 4 next. If you are enjoying these videos, please drop me a line or write me a comment, or hopefully you are really enjoying them. Hopefully they are a good resource, perhaps, rather than just a 2-hour course. We will get into doing all that stuff. I really want to get through this new manual because there are a lot of functions that people don't use in their Kontakt instruments that I think would be rad to see. So the next section, user interface controls, it has to do with everything that we can make malleable inside Kontakt. Yes, it will help you later on when we get to skinning user interface stuff and swapping graphics out. But for the very first step, we really need to learn how to use buttons, knobs, file selectors, labels, level meters. This one should be really exciting, except level meter. That's kind of pointless, but everything else will be really, really exciting. We've actually used some of these before, but we're going to start building the complexity and start playing with some of the other elements that we get to use. Like this XY pad one is awesome. What else we got? And then we're on to loop statements. So we are finding our way through. So hope you're enjoying it. If you are enjoying it, throw me a subscribe or hit me up and just let me know, because that's always nice. So otherwise, I will talk to you soon.